Hey friends, my name is Jack Droppers. I am the director of the Student Activities Office here at Calvin University. In the SAO, we frequently talk about art, and particularly good art invites us to experience our own humanity more deeply. So as we step into this performance and this conversation, let me invite you to fully experience your humanity in this moment, to allow the music to let you feel things, to move you, and for you to reflect on what it means to be human during this time. Thanks so much for listening. Let's take it away.
Like my grandfather's house with dark wood in that worn out black couch. I feel a breeze through the open screen. Warm hands grab my magazine like shy children. They're settled around their mother's knees. Still a shy child, scared of everything, everything. I'm scared of everything except you. Oh, last year, blurred memories. If this is it, it's so right. It's so right, oh, flashing ball. That's all I ever know. If this is it, that's so right. That's so right. I'll be alright. The sun streaks my skin through the blinds. I think I'm living someone else's past life. You're breathing heavy, your chest is heaving. I like the sounds when you're asleep. You make me feel like I might be something more than just a tragedy. 'Cause last year, blurred memories. If this is it, it's so right. It's so right. Oh, flashing ball. That's all I ever known. If this is it, that's so right. That's so right. in a torn up town. No postcard envy, and every song's like gold teeth, grey goose tripping in the bathroom, blood stains, ball gowns, trash in the hotel room. We don't care. We're driving Cadillacs in our dreams. Everybody's like crystal, Maybach, diamonds on your timepiece, jet planes, oilings, tackers on a gold leash. We don't care. We aren't caught up in your love affair. We'll never be royal. It's only our play. The Cadillacs just say for us. We crave a different kind. A boys, let me be your ruler. You can call me Queen Bee, baby, oh. Let me live that fantasy. My friends and I, we've cracked the count our dollars on the train to the party, and everyone who knows us knows that we're fine with this. We didn't come for money, and every song's like gold teeth, grey goose tripping in the bathroom, blood stains, ball gowns, trash in the hotel room. We don't care. Driving Cadillacs in our dreams. Everybody's like crystal, Maybach, diamonds on your timepiece, jet planes, oilings, tackers on a gold leash. We don't care. We aren't caught up in your love affair. We'll never be royal. It's only our play. That Cadillacs just say for us. We crave a different kind. A boys, let me be your ruler. You can call me Queen Bee, baby, oh. Let me live that fantasy, oh. We're bigger than we ever dreamed, and I'm in love with being queen. Life is great without a care. We are caught up in your love affair. We'll never be royal. It's already our play. That Cadillacs just say for us. We crave a different kind. A boys, let me be your ruler. You can call me Queen Bee, baby, oh. Let me live that fantasy. Just on the shelves, I settled down, and I feel the habits in my hometown won't stay in place. I grab my suitcase. Let me go from all that I'm done away. Don't look for me, another misunderstood. I say out of mind away. Don't look for me. Hotel room for an interview, city view, I don't know what to do. Coffee's brewed, I have no rules or plans. Let me go away from all that I'm known away.
All right, I am sitting down with Michaela of Canceled Plans. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We love filming in this space because often we think that artists, much like yourself, particularly like folk music artists, go away into their cabin and separate themselves from the rest of the artistic world, and then emerge with a song or a novel or whatever it might be. But often we're actually interacting with various pieces of arts in our life. So I'm curious, to start this off, what are you interacting with right now that's inspiring you, that's giving you life, whether it be a particular artist or a movie or a book or something like that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I'm currently finishing up a book called A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. And it's basically a book on like the evolution of human consciousness and how basically humans as a collective whole are working towards a stage of enlightenment that essentially separates us from our ego and allows us to live kind of detached in this space that is neither here nor there, but is like in a sense a presence. And so that book has been really inspiring me because it talks about not only how your relationships deepen when you're more present and away from your ego, how your goals deepen when you're really where you are, but it also talks about how in the present moment you unlock true creativity. You can't be creative tomorrow. You can't be creative yesterday, but you can be creative right now. And the only moment we have to create is actually right now. So it's not something that can be planned for, and one way we can access that is through this process of kind of entering a space that is not here or there, but is present. So,
what, out of curiosity, like what practices do you partake when it comes to like trying to be present, like before writing a track or even like going to play a show? Do you have a ritual of trying to center yourself?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm a big morning person. And so I try to seek spaces that I already feel present in. So the morning, something about like thin air that just makes me feel really engaged and just like alive. So the morning and even dusk, I feel really present as kind of the air shifts in the day. I love to have some sort of warm beverage, big coffee drinker over here. So that kind of centers me because when you start to engage these senses, right, you're breathing, you're smelling, you're tasting, you're seeing, you're hearing, right? That's when true creativity starts to emerge when you allow it to do so. So those spaces, as well as anything moving. If I'm in a train or a car or a plane, just a space of transience, I really, really enjoy that practice. But on the daily, it's a lot of just yoga and meditation and creative intake like that.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say warm beverage. My wife Elizabeth has been going through this like practice, this book called, I think it's called The Cup of Your Life or The Cup in Your Life or something like that. And part of it is like she grabs this cup that our friend like made, and like it's like reflecting on the cup and like trying to be present to the cup. And so it's interesting like how warm liquids, whether it's because we're just so tired and we're drinking that first cup of coffee, like we tend to be like all there for that cup of coffee, particularly if it's good coffee.
It is so true.
I want to talk a little, one of the fascinating things about your music is I was reading your Spotify bio, which, correct me if I'm wrong, that if this is not still the case, but it's Canceled Plans is music for people who like to stay at home.
Perfect.
Is that it? Okay.
That's it. It's a tagline.
Which feels like if 2020 were to be a memoir, that would be like Canceled Plans, a year for people who like to stay at home. Does like the irony of that like feel like perfect to you, or like how do you deal? Because obviously like we're all canceling everything right now. I mean, just this week we're literally canceling Classic Calvin. How does that feel as somebody who's like, this is the way I advertise myself to the world, to be in that day in and day out for the last year? Yeah,
that's a really good point. It's been a lot of irony and also a lot of like me being like, hey guys, remember I started this band in 2018. Like this was not a 2020 project. Like I'm
not having fun either.
Exactly. And so actually I did attempt to sort of pivot a little bit more online towards YouTube and kind of these things that we were all doing. And my explanation for this was Canceled Plans is a band for people who like to stay home, and then the people stayed home and I didn't know what to do. So that definitely happened. And I think it's been
more challenging, not out of a creative space, but out of a space of respect for what's going on in the world right now. It's like, where and when is artistic content warranted, and where do we need to read the room as artists? So I think that maybe under more holistic circumstances, more healthy circumstances, staying at home, canceling plans, like this would be my time.
Yeah.
But currently it's a little bit more of like oh shoot, people are dying, but here's my latest single.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to be careful with that. Like, what do you do? So I think it's mostly been focusing on the fun parts and the irony of being cancel plans.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's hard to, there's a little bit of it that's a little tongue-in-cheek, and to like put that out. I've talked to so many artists about this, of like, how do you like take in this cultural moment that we're in, and like not use it to sell your next single, or use the pain in that way, but also be like honest and do justice to the emotions that we have, or the culture and whatnot. So one of the questions that we typically ask at live shows to bands is, what makes an audience a good audience? So I'm curious for you, not only as a performer, but you also have worked in the concert business on the other half at the school that we both attended, that shall not be named.
Go Hope.
As a performer and as like a concert promoter, what makes an audience a good audience in your mind?
I think an audience is a good audience when they're focused on the collective experience. Concerts and entertainment can sometimes be a selfish experience where it's like, I'm going to wear my cutest outfit, I'm going to go have a night with my friends, I'm going to see my favorite band, you know? And like, there's an element of that in everything that we do. It's like, as an artist, we want to be your favorite band. As a promoter, I want to purchase talent that you're going to want to see, right? Like, I want to put that best foot forward. But at the same time, the most successful shows I've ever either performed at or put on as a venue staff have been that collective whole of people coming in and being like, okay, I'm going to take away something from this, but only if I put it in first. And I think that artists really appreciate that as well. And it just kind of shows too, like, a selfish crowd is a loud crowd. A selfish crowd is on their phones the whole night. And as artists, on the flip side, it's like, I'm watching a crowd at the bar, or I'm watching a crowd on their phones, and I'm thinking, well, you could have done that at home, you know? And so I think that's what makes a good audience, is just somebody that's there and ready and open to experience whatever the night has, rather than take what they think they need from it and end up sucking the air out of the room, right? So
yeah, it's interesting to think about, like, what is my role as an audience member in like bringing my full self, the present stuff that you were talking about earlier. I find that less with live music, but more so with TV shows these days, that I'm so tempted to double screen. And what does it look like to actually like be present to this art that somebody made in a world where we have distractions in our pockets at all times?
Because oftentimes too, the thing you think you're going to get from something isn't what you find. So just being open to that is so much more of a rich experience than coming in with the idea that you're going to get like a signed album, right? That
you can put on your wall.
Exactly. And for what?
Last question. It would not be a stretch to say that we are a culture in crisis. And I'm curious what you would say the responsibility of an artist is in a culture in crisis.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been thinking about this a lot, just in general, especially as, you know, we think about the ethics of live music and how to return as a group of people celebrating art, right? And so as an artist as a whole, I think everything for me has been going back to this presence, right? Like going back to this now moment. And for us, I think artists' job is to respond and not react to what's going on here, because human nature, you know, it's like people are dying, we are reacting. It's like, oh, this is horrible, oh my gosh, this and that and that. And that needs to happen, like in the medical world and in education. It's like there's a lot of reactions to what's going on with this crisis. However, as artists, we kind of have that privilege to sit back and savor a little bit and say, okay, how am I going to respond to this that maybe put some of these pieces together? So I think artists right now have the responsibility of seeing what's broken and then assembling it and then handing it back to the people and being like, look, your culture's not gone. Like, you're still here, I'm still here. And I think artists often too, we echo our surroundings. Like nothing's made in a vacuum. Like we make music, we make art, we make books. So personally, I think it's our job to kind of take a look and be like, all right, like what can I say that maybe won't make it all okay, but we'll show you that there's a different way of seeing the world right now.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about, like
Yeah.
helping audiences reframe their, but also like giving them words to say the thing that maybe they couldn't say themselves, which music is obviously incredible for. Of like, sometimes I will like cry to a song and I'll be like, I didn't know I felt this way.
It's so
and the
true.
artist like has given me this gift of
Right.
being able to articulate what I can't.
Right,
myself.
and creating an escape room for people as well. Sometimes people don't need to think, they need to feel. So.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much for your wonderful music.
Thank you.
And for not canceling this plan. You can check out canceled plans wherever you stream music, and we'll link them below as well. So thanks.
Thank you for having me. Thanks so much.